Alright, this is the third time making this video. First one glitched, second one was not recording my voice, so now we're on the third one. Okay, so this is going to be how to navigate a driving for dollars list or find the owner of a property that you drove down the street and got an address for. It's always going to be in the assessor's office. That's who takes care of the tax bills. So that's where you can find the owners of properties. We are going to it's always going to be the assessor office. Now it will vary with, let's say you're in Hammond, it's going to be, well, I think that's Tangy, but anyway, like, so let's say it's Mandeville, it's going to be St. Tammany Parish Assessor Office. If you're in Orleans, it's going to be New Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. We're in Jefferson Parish, so it's going to be Jefferson Parish Assessor Office. Click on it. And all the websites are set up different, but this is how JP's is. So I was driving down the street earlier, let's say, and I came across an address. It was 4400 Tabany Street, and I want to find out who owns that house because I want to contact them. Whether I'm sending a mail, calling them, whatever, I want to contact these people about buying their property. So the address of the property, we clicked on that, was 4408 Tabany Street. Well, we can see that the owner is Mr. Petros Christakis, and we're going to click on this right here, and it will pull up this. And then this, you're going to see that the improvement address is always going to be the address of the property. So that is correct. That is 4408 Tabany Street. The mailing address can vary, but in this case, the mailing address is the same as the property. So the owner, the mail for this property, the owner's mail goes to Unit B at 4408 Tabany. So he actually lives in the unit. Typically, another way of verifying that is the property will be homestead exempted. He does not have it like that. Typically, they do it, but it's not bulletproof. They do that to save money on the taxes because you can write off the first $75,000 worth of the cost of the home. So if a home costs 100 grand, you're paying taxes on 100 grand. But if a house costs, if you're homestead exempted, you deduct 75,000 from that 100. Now you only pay taxes on $25,000. So most people do that to save money on their tax bill. But anyway, in this case, Mr. Petros Christakis owns 4408 Tabany. So if we want to write him a letter, we're going to make it out to Mr. Petros Christakis at 4408 Tabany Street, Unit B. Hey, Mr. Petros, my name's so-and-so, and I'd be interested in buying your property at 4408 Tabany Street. Stick it in the mail and wait for a response. So that's an easy one because he lives there. We're going to do 4400 Tabany now. And this time it's owned by an LLC. Okay, well, who the hell's that LLC, right? Who the hell is that guy? So we're going to click on it. We're going to see that the improvement address on this one is now different than the mailing address. So this is where his tax bill is sent, 4816 Loveland. Well, we still don't know the owner's name, though, and I want to find that out. So I'm going to go to the Secretary of State website. Now, Secretary of State, kind of just like the assessor office. All you got to do is punch in whatever state it is, followed by Secretary of State. So if it was Florida, it'd be Florida Secretary of State. We're in Louisiana, so we're going to go to Louisiana's. Then we're going to go to the business services, and we're going to search for a business filing. And we want to search by the entity's name to find out who is the owner of 3M Realty LLC. Alright, so we can see the mailing address for the LLC, so all the paperwork for the LLC is sent to the same 4816 Loveland Street. Remember that from right here? It's the same address that the tax bill for 4400 Tabany is sent to. We're going to scroll down. Now you'll notice that registered agents will vary from officers. The registered agent is going to be the attorney or whoever set the LLC up. In this case, this guy set it up for himself. He did not pay an attorney to do it, which is fine. It's super easy. So the officers are going to be your owners. So there's two owners, Mr. Jeff Gilberti and Chrissy Trepanier. And they both live at the same address. So they might not be married, but they're whatever. Anyway, they both are the registered, the officers on this LLC that own 4400 Tabany. So, Jeff Gilberti, 4816 Loveland Street. I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, 4816 Loveland Street. You know what? I want to do one more thing and check. Let me see something real quick. It said he lived at 4816 Loveland, right? Well, let's verify that. 4816 Loveland. So you type in 4816 Loveland, you click on it, and you can see that that's the improvement address, the address of the property, right? His mailing address is the same, and the owner is Jeff and Chrissy Gilberti, so they both own this home, and it's homestead exempted, so they live there. So when you want to contact 3M Realty about this property at 4400 Tabany, you'll be sending your mail to Mr. Jeff Gilberti at 4816 Loveland Street, and same thing, you'll be saying, hey, I want to buy your house at 4400 Tabany Street. So that's how you search if it's owned by an LLC. That's how you can find out who is the owner of that LLC. And let's say we were driving down Tabany earlier and we saw, we saw a house and we couldn't find the address for it. So, but we saw on both sides of the properties, of that property, we saw the addresses of those houses. And let's say it was 4400 Tabany. We saw that address, and on the other side of the property, we saw the address was 4408 Tabany. Okay, well, it's probably 4404 Tabany, but we want to make sure, right? We just want to go double check that. So we're going to go to what is called the GIS portal. And for Jefferson Parish, we'll type in Jefferson Parish GIS portal, St. Tammany GIS portal, all the same stuff. Then you'll click on it. You'll click continue to map. You can search it or zoom in and find it and click it yourself. I already have it pulled up because it was messing around earlier. And we were driving down the street, right? And we couldn't find this address, but we did see this one. We saw the 4400 and we saw the 4408. So that was the house in the middle that we couldn't find that address for earlier. Let's click on it. Okay. Well, we can find out with this. I'll show you the address, the lot and the square numbers, the subdivision, zip, all that kind of stuff. Another very important thing, it will show you zoning, right? So this is zoned R3, so it's zoned for multifamily purposes, which is good, right? What if it's a double and it's zoned for a single family? Well, that's not good. You might have some zoning issue. You might get, if you were to buy it, you might run into a little trouble with zoning on that. But it shows your zoning, and it also shows your elevation, so you can see that it's elevation AE. So when you're doing your due diligence on your property, you can come back to this, and you're like, man, I want to get a flood quote just to see where I'd be at on the flood. Let me go see what flood zone it's in. Well, you can come over here and see that it's an AE. Call your insurance girl. Hey, it's an AE, and she can go, okay, boom, here's your quote. And then, like I said, you find zoning, flood elevation, but also, more importantly, if you can't find the address of the property, you can use the GIS portal to find it, just like this. And then if you want to find out the owner, I'll delete these, and we'll go to the assessor office. Okay, well, I want to contact that guy now. So we're going to type in that address we just found. And it pulls up 4404 Tabany Street, pulls up 4404 Tabany LLC. So we're going to do the same exact thing. Copy this, go to the Secretary of State, find out the owner of the LLC and his address, and send him a piece of mail about purchasing that property. I think that's it, man.